I know you guys have heard about Kristi Noem being removed as Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, right? Honey, I went ahead and did some deep diving because I watched the interview the testimony that she did yesterday with Congress, and it was interesting and everything, but I needed to go ahead and do a little bit more deep diving. I went ahead and pulled up at least about 5 things that led up to her dismissal from office, and it's deep. Now, I was really more caught up with her having a special relationship, because that's when I came in on the interview, when they were showing off the luxury jet with the real fancy bedroom that's inside of it, and her taking luxury trips, and then they start asking her about her relationship with her special agent or the special security that she had, even though she's married. So that's what got me interested. But I had to go ahead and do a little deep dive to find what else were they talking about when it came down to this Miss Kristi Noem. And when I tell you she had things like scandals, mismanagement of funds, helping her daughter getting a real estate license in South Dakota, it's deep. So talking about the least of the first 5 things that she did, the 5 things that outweighed everything that she did in her 13 months of time as being the Department Head of Homeland Security. So let's go ahead and get into it. First one is the fatal shootings of Renee Good in Minnesota. Now, I know you guys have heard about that. If you haven't heard about it, go ahead and take a Google Renee Good, and that's going to go ahead and pull you, bring you up to speed of what happened. That's when all of the 8 ICE protests popped out. ICE had showed up. I'm not sure. They said that Donald Trump had sent ICE there because of something that happened between him and Tim Walz. It's a big thing. But long story short, ICE went up and basically turned the city of Minnesota upside down, and they ended up killing Renee Good. So basically, when she got shot, it was a big scandal behind that, but they're saying that Miss Kristi Noem went in and she was blocking local investigations. She wrongfully labeled individuals as terrorists, domestic terrorists, which is why the ICE people came up there and did what they did. Not to mention that she was accused of covering up details when it came down to the actual what happened between what led up to Renee Good's shooting. So with that, she got a bad rap on that one. She also, after that, well, there's a little bit more about that, but it was a big chunk of the questioning from yesterday on Kristi Noem. Now this happened fast because they moved to fire her really fast. She just got interviewed yesterday. So long story short, they were talking about the $220 million mismanagement of ad campaigns. Now, that's when they really got into the meat and potatoes. They were asking her, like, do you think that you should have, been using, asking, I guess, porting people in a luxury plane that needed big accommodations, like a luxury bedroom, fully furnished bedroom, equipped with a TV, bed, a couch, all of that good stuff. Usually when you're transporting people who are going to be either deported or people who are in trouble or something like that, they don't get all of those accommodations. So they were questioning her about all of the accommodations that she was providing, and she said that she didn't do anything wrong and that all of that stuff was approved, but it really wasn't. She was featured, let's see here, it says that there was a government-funded ad program in which she was featured that promoted voluntary migrant departures. The campaign included a subcontractor linked to her former spokeswoman, Tricia McLaughlin. So basically, she mismanaged a lot of that money. I want to say at least over $140 million that she did mismanage. Not sure what happened with the rest of it, but basically what happened with that. And then moving on to the third thing, when she was questioned about it yesterday, that was actually the day before yesterday because we're actually on Friday now. But when she was questioned about it, her lavish spending, she told the Congress that Donald Trump knew about it and that he was pleased with how she appropriated the funds. And when they asked him about it, he said, I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about it. Yeah, so with that being said, you got your false claims, you got the $220 million ad campaign, you got the federal shooting, so we're up to 4, And then what's this last one right here? There's a systematic obstruction of low morale. So basically she got a lot of backlash of all of that good stuff. Well, not good stuff, but bad stuff for what she did. But what is it saying here? The inspector general informed the Congress that Noem systematically obstructed his office's work. Her leadership was describing as cause for a culture of fear within the department. So she created a hostile working environment. Not to mention this with the public, that she created, you know, a real nasty backlash, especially with that Renee Good stuff. I remember being really upset about that. So that coupled with the fact that she went ahead and said that Donald Trump approved of it, and when he really didn't approve of it, or he just didn't know about it, I'm not sure if she was just doing it rogue or whatever it is, but I do know that he appointed her. And just like he's appointed others in the past and everything, he will go ahead and fire you and deny that he even approve you doing certain things. So I'm not sure if they're just not following direction. Do they think they just have this willy-nilly go to do what they want to do because we have the president we have in office and that he chose them? But maybe not, you know, maybe she overstepped her boundaries. I do know that we were ready for her to go. It's just like we were waiting on the Attorney General to go ahead and give her resignation papers as well. But oh no. She's gonna go ahead and be redirected to a new position that sounds like it was made up because some kind of shield or something like that. Something she's gonna be doing over the Western hemispheres. I didn't even bother to look it up because honestly, I don't even know if she's gonna be there long and whatnot. So with that being said, this is an interesting topic. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and get with y'all later. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.